What's the difference when we're playing around and when we play too much? Right here you can see life is supposed to be as intended. Playing around in slow motion, or so it seems to them. And then there's a difference with this in nature. The beautiful nature, the beautiful outdoors as we know it, at its finest. And there's a difference when people are at their finest. I guess that you can call this their finest. I definitely want to call this my finest. But let's move on, shall we? Out of all of these, which one do you think this video is about? And which one do you think is more deadlier? Now, a lot of you people may say, hey, all of those are A-okay, and I don't see anything wrong with them, especially golf. But that's until this happens. This has become such an issue, you really don't know how many balls are really on the golf course. No, I'm serious, like there are a lot of balls on the golf course.
I'm not even close. 3 golf course ponds. Double.
And when things like this happen, there's just no way to really handle them but to get out your phone, tweet about it, of course, and then call the local authorities, which this one woman actually did in Denver by a black bear. She was being assaulted by golf balls, literally, in her backyard, trying to enjoy a meal or probably a cup of tea. You don't believe me? I'll show you. Thomas, take her away.
7 investigation now out of Parker. A woman called us, says she's fed up with what's going on in her backyard. Her home backs up to the Black Bear Golf Club. She bought the home well aware of the dangers of errant golf balls, but now she says it's gotten worse than ever, and she wants something done about it. Denver 7's Eric Lufer looked into the matter to see if anything could be done.
We're just getting drilled with golf balls constantly.
And Leslie Stevens has the proof. Golf ball after golf ball scattered in her backyard.
If you kind of look down here, so I mean, if we count them, so we got 1 over there, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Her house backs up to hole 4 at Black Bear Golf Club in Parker, the tee box just a couple hundred yards away.
I can be sitting here having a cup of coffee, eating. Golf balls would just go sailing past my head.
This was the latest casualty, a broken window on the 2nd floor of her home.
It's not just the cost of broken windows, it's becoming a life-threatening issue that needs to be addressed.
Stevens wants the golf course to do something, maybe move the tee box or line the right side of the fairway with some trees. We reached out to Black Bear management. They had no comment on the specific complaint, but said they always try to work with their neighbors. Meantime, we found this, the rules and regulations regarding the neighborhood, talking about assumption of risk, and that homeowners are, quote, subject to inherent risk, including damage or injury to person or property, end quote. In other words, unless a golfer knocks on your door and accepts blame and offers to pay for the damage their golf ball made, the homeowner has to pay.
Okay, so I have one right there on the couch.
Leslie knows she took the risk 7 years ago to live in the line of fire.
And that's true, and I understand that, and I accept it. But it gets to the point where if it's so bad that the golf course should really look at, what is going on in this particular spot.
And that's just there. Picture this. Millions of balls scattered all over the place. Lots of them are plastic grade. And that's the issue because when players leave them in the field, not all of them are retrieved. In May 2021, RTE Magazine released an article. Lead, Dr. Sinead Michelle, is a lecturer and engineer and a researcher on a suitable manufacturing at the College of Engineering and Informatics at NUI Galway. She studied, and she basically knows what she's talking about, and said that it is difficult to know how many balls are lost each year definitively, though it is estimated within the U.S. that a staggering 300 million balls are lost annually, despite patents being filed to find and retrieve the balls and return them to their respectful owners. My first initial thought was they should hire somebody by hand to just simply go out and retrieve those balls, but 300 million is a lot, and even Goku and Vegeta got tired.
All right, the sheets have been changed and we can get out of here.
Vegeta, do you really do this kind of crazy training every single day?
Who said this was the training? All we've been doing is helping with chores.
What?
Back in 1980, there was a 5% tax increase on golf balls because it was so expensive to clean them up, with virtually no success. And even back then, that has been an issue. That interview from the news was current day. You can clearly see it was in 1980, but you get the picture. On another note, even in 2009, a Scottish explorer hunting for Nessie, no, not Nestle, the milk chocolate, the Loch Ness Monster, he went to the lake and found something else. When the Scottish explorer got down to the bottom of the lake, he said there were thousands of golf balls at the bottom of the lake. Even went on further to say that not only are there golf balls being lost like this, some golfers are actually practicing their swing straight into the goddamn river. Even Jerry Seinfeld said there are golf balls on the moon. Well, that's how I would imagine him saying it, but that's literally what is said in the research. You can look it up online. And here I thought that golf ball was all about the grass and some shit. Why are you guys on the moon? And I know there's some of you sitting out there being like, hey, but it's just a grass in the field. And I don't understand. Like a kid in class, I'm about to school that ass. So sit back and relax while I explain to you while balls hit that grass. You feel me? Now, sitting there, remember I was talking about the 300 million balls earlier? Yeah, the plastic is not like sugar and water, or any liquid for that matter. It's not just going to dissolve. Plastic takes 1,000 years to break down. 1,000. 1,000. Yeah, so I want you to think about that the next time that you throw a bottle into the fucking ravine. Or this. Yeah, you know when this happens, magic starts to happen. And oh yeah, I'm gonna tell you some Harry Potter that's going on in that water right now. When plastic like this sits in the water, especially in any type of heat, this can include water in your room. This can also include water sitting in your car on a hot day. As soon as an hour passes, a chemical called BPA is released into the water that degrades the water. And BPA contains two chemicals known as bisphenol and antimony. And these are a very deadly combination, for these two chemicals releases into the water in only an hour, and it can change your hormone levels, cause heart problems, increase risk of cancer, cause stomach pain, vomiting, stomach ulcers, and diarrhea. And some scientists and researchers have also linked it to spontaneous abortions and even retinal bleeding. Remember, you like to heat up your baby's formula? Well, don't, because all of that happens in the hour that that hot liquid sits in plastic. And even plastic around the world is gathered, especially recycled bottles, by the dozens and many, so they can cut manufacturing costs. And previous bottles still contain 20% of BPA from previous owners. They do this because it's easier and it's cheaper and it's very simple, as opposed to spending more money to make a whole new different product. You would even realize that this may surprise you, but BPA can also imitate another chemical because it's a major concern. BPA can mimic the actions of estrogen, which is a chemical that is involved in the breast development, regulating periods, and maintaining pregnancy. Hey, lady, didn't I just tell your ass that that was dangerous? Is that from the car? The article goes on to further say that animals can develop abnormal reproductive systems, and it's unclear in which doses that they're affected in, due to the fact that this is still a gray area for scientists. And every animal who accesses the water is very susceptible to this, even people. That's why that they keep the documents in those Iron Man-like containers. Maybe they're very important, or maybe he's just trying to hide his lunch. Who knows? But what we do know is that the more we see things like this, of any type of plastic, the BPA sits there chilling and passes itself around like a fucking Dutch cigar. And everything that has contact with the water, from the animals that access it, gets into them. Then it gets into us when we eat them, whether it's animal or grass. Water still depends on them, and they still depend on the water. And as long as that happens, then you guys already know what we're gonna have a full plate of. A full-ass meal of BPA. Stay safe, and thanks for watching.
Baby girl, I'm overseas. Baby girl, I'm overseas. Baby girl, can't get to her. Baby girl, she on my phone, but I hope you think of me. Baby, I hope you think of me. Baby, you all into my head. Baby girl, you in my dome, like you on my fantasy. Like you on my fantasy. When I hope you hear this song, we can play it all night long. Girl, I hope you think of me. Girl, I hope you think of me. Girl, I hope you think of me. Think of me, think of me, think of me.